Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Smart HVAC Marketing Podcast. My name is Eric Thomas, and I am the host of the show. And today we are joined by Dayna Hottle from CNC Heating and Air Conditioning. Dayna, how are you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So, Dayna, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for our listeners and tell them a little bit more about your business?
Sure. So I'm Dayna Hottle. We are located in Metro Detroit. I'm third generation heating and cooling. So our business was started in 1948 by my grandpa and great uncle. Now my dad owns it completely. We're strictly residential replacement. We have about 75 employees, and we're looking to grow, and we've had a great year, and that's about it.
Awesome. So what's your role there in the company?
General manager.
Okay, awesome. So let's talk a little bit about like the family business thing, because that's
Sure.
something that's always really interesting to me, because I feel like as contractors begin to gray, as they say, they either sell or they pass it on. And it seems as if in this instance, you guys passed it on generation to generation, which I think is really special. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. It's actually a interesting story. So it was started, like I said, by my grandpa and great uncle. My dad was the first kid in his family to graduate college. So the day my dad graduated college, my grandpa said to him, "I never want you have to make a promise to me, never come back to the family business." And it wasn't anything like, he didn't want my dad there. It was, he didn't want him in the trades and working with his hands. And it was he had a hard life with the business that he was in, and he didn't want that for my dad. So my dad, after college, went and worked as a territory manager for Carrier for 3 years. And so when my dad was 23, 24, 25, my grandpa had a massive heart attack and passed away. And at that time, my great uncle had just retired. And so it was my grandpa and my uncle. And my uncle asked my dad to come back to the family business. And so my dad broke his promise and came back to the family business. At that point, they had 3 employees and, grew it from there. So, and then I kind of got started in college. I needed a summer job, and my mom's like, "Well, why don't you come be a call taker for us?" So, I came back, and they always say in this industry, it sucks you in, and it totally sucked me in. I just saw the potential that what we could do. We had joined some affinity groups at that point. I think we were in SGI. And, they took me along to an expo, and I saw these companies, and it just legitimized the business for me, that this is the actual industry. And so after college, my mom asked me if I would want to come back, and I came back, and I've been here ever since.
Awesome.
So,
What did you say that you had gone to college for?
Economics and management. So in the business realm. Yeah. So, it did. It fit. I was thinking more finance round, but, I could see the potential of this industry even as a college student. And I could see the potential in our business. I talk to customers all the time. I saw that we had a loyal customer base, and I enjoyed it every day. Every day was different, working with people. Then I started as a call taker, did accounting. I've pretty much done every single role in the office here from then on. So.
Nice. So yeah, then that's one thing I've kind of learned, because I went to school for business as well, which I went for marketing, which does work hand in hand with what I do now. One thing I've really learned is like a business degree in general can really be used in so many different ways, and so many people think like, oh, I got to move to New York City and be a stockbroker, or something like, but they don't realize.
All my friends went to Chicago, so. It was, I was kind of the person at home, working for the family business. But now people see what we've done with it, and, give me a lot of credit for, having the forethought of seeing the potential in a small family business at that point. I think we're doing about $3 million in revenue, when I started working there.
Wow. So at what point, as far as like timeline goes in years, did you come back into the family business?
So, so it started in 1948. My dad came back in about, I think it was 76, maybe 70, 73, 76. So I started in pretty much 2003, coming back in the summer for, college. Graduated college in 2005. And I've been here ever since. So now It's been about 16 years that I've been here full time.
Wow. So from 1977 to date, you went from 3 employees to 75. That's remarkable.
Yeah.
That's really
cool. It's humbling to say, like my mom always talks about, what we do is not just, heating and cooling. We feed, how many families that we provide for. And, I always think about that. What we do is beyond just heating and cooling. We provide a career, we provide a family for some people, and, provide opportunities. And I don't take that for granted at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what have been some of the challenges that you've seen along the road from the general manager standpoint?
There's always challenges. Staffing's always a challenge. Finding technicians. I think we've become one of the dominant companies in Metro Detroit now, that it's become a lot easier for us to find staffing. Especially branding on television has really helped, have that name recognition that people, in the trade schools know about us. We provide a lot of on-site training. We'll train people completely green. So we give them an opportunity without even going to trade school or college. So I think, that's helped us a lot, but, that's a huge downfall right now, is just, building that base, and, building them from scratch, just because, you want them to not have any bad habits and do things the way that we want it done. And it does take time, and it's a huge investment, but when you see them grow from being a maintenance technician, actually most of the time they start in the shop, start working in the shop, and then going to be a maintenance technician, and then a full-blown service technician. I've seen, we've had people here start as right out of high school, and now they've been here for 15 years. And
wow.
Yeah.
So I know you said like that's kind of a big investment, but has that seemed like it's worked out pretty well? Because I feel like I've heard a few other people mention this, like kind of having like a feeder program where you'll take them from green all the way up.
Yeah, it's our best way of growing people is within our own organization. We do get other people from our competitors, but they're so few and far between. And a lot of them have bad habits or don't show up, or, and, we just look for the people with that right personality that, you see that potential in, that, have that drive, want a good career and a steady income. And, you can build them not the way you want, but they don't know any different. Yeah. So I think that's very important, is, finding those right people. It's not necessarily having those technical skills, but that personality that deal with our customers on a daily basis.
Yeah. So what are some of those skills and some of those personality traits that you all look for?
What's funny, as we just went through this, we use a culture index when people come in and apply, and it tells us a lot about, their potential, not so much their personality, but what skill set they have. So we look for people that are very detail oriented. We look for people that are personable. We look, depending on what position that we're hiring for, high patience, low patience. For sales, you want low. If you want, an installer, you want high patience. Very detailed is a key for all positions. That's really helped us within the last year, is adding that, because it gives us some kind of insight into them as a person.
Yeah. It seems like, you can train for skills, but that work ethic and the attention to detail, like you were saying, and all the different soft skills, what they call them, are really the hardest to teach.
Oh yeah, so it's innate, you're either one way or you're not. And, I always look for, when I'm interviewing someone, do they have a smile on their face? Are they, can I just hold a normal conversation, not even talking about work with them? How do they treat the office staff when they walk into the door? Are they rude? Are they welcoming? And, that's how they are. That's how they're going to treat your customers. And you want, you want someone that's very welcoming and warm. And, we have a lot of elderly clients, and, you have to have a lot of patience with them and build a relationship. And, that's just natural for some people, and for some people it's not. And that's what we look for.
Yeah. So I heard you mention a second ago about how your branding has helped out when you're doing like the TV advertisements and other stuff like that. What are some other ways that you all have used marketing to really grow the brand over the years?
We do a radio on a Christian radio, and we have a huge loyal base on this Christian radio. I'm trying to think of everything. It's so broad. We used to do just TV every once in a while. Now it's year round. So I think that's really helped us, is not just sporadically doing it, having that constant repetition of our name out there. We're probably number one on Google. Our reviews, we have about 3,000 4.9 rating Google reviews. I think that's really helped us with getting into it, just having that reputation with the customer before we even walk in the door. They read about us before we come out, and I think that's with every industry now, is your reviews are vital to any company. And we take that very seriously, and we have for a very long time. We respond to every review. If someone's upset, we reach out to them and resolve it as fast as we can, because, you don't want that bad mark on you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's what they say, like one bad review can overshadow 10 good reviews.
Yeah, it can. And, it's so easy to fix sometimes. Something could be something super small. And if you reach out to that customer and they know that you care, that you're not just, taking their money and running, that you will fix the problem. They're usually more than willing to either take it down or, respond back to it. And, it's so important right now.
Yeah. And there's been one time, just funny, we were talking about this with like 1-star reviews, where someone got on there and had like roasted the company, and they were like, these people suck. They couldn't fix my furnace, whatever. So like we reached out to the company. We were like, hey, what happened here? Like, this isn't good. And they're like, oh, that's just like, he's a renter. He's like a tenant. We've actually worked with his property manager to like resolve the issue or whatever. And so we like go back to him. We were like, hey, don't worry. We're like working with your property manager to get this fixed. And he took it down. It's just so simple like that. And at first, like if you're on the outside looking in, you see that and you're like, oh, wow, this homeowner really got screwed. But they didn't. They weren't even, it doesn't even tell the full story. They were just a tenant. It's so important to be able to go in there and just resolve the issue if you can, or at least get rid of the tension.
Yes. 100% agree.
Yeah. So about the Christian radio that you all advertise on, that's actually pretty unique. I've never heard that. So what was the inspiration behind that?
It's the salesperson wouldn't leave us alone. she kept saying, you guys would do really good. She was a customer. And she'd come in, I swear, like at least once a month. And she'd be like, I think you guys are a really good fit. And you just try it out. And so we started on the morning show, just, doing regular ads. And we got a lot of response from it. And so then we started with the afternoon show. So we were in the morning and the afternoon. And those customers, they don't question anything. They're whatever they say on the shows, that's who they use. And so if you're a WMUZ listener, you're very loyal. And they're just very, very good customers. So it's worked out really well. Yeah. Who knew? Christian radio.
Yeah.
And it's not a very dominant, competitive, I guess. We don't have anyone else on there we're competing with. So it's worked out very well.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a pretty gentle space to be able to advertise on, because like you get like the popular like country stations and the popular like classic rock, the place where most heating and cooling contractors think that's where my ideal client's hanging out.
Yeah.
Well, you go on there and you're going to hear 6 or 7 other companies also being advertised, so it's just noise at that point. So that's actually pretty smart to kind of take a different path. And we really hadn't done much radio at that point. We've kind of added some since then, but it's worked out really well. And we've been happy with our results. So yeah, that's awesome. Well, as I mentioned earlier, we have a new segment on the show. It's HVAC Trivia. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you up for the challenge still?
I'm up. I hope I don't embarrass myself, but I should be okay.
All right. I'm going to start with the same question every time.
Okay.
So for those of you listening out there, if you're ever a guest on the show, you have no excuse to get this wrong, because I start with it every single time. All right. Here's question number 1.
Okay.
This man was credited for inventing the first electrical air conditioner in the year 1902. All right. All right. Ding, ding,
I do know that. My dad would be very disappointed in me if I didn't.
Yeah, Willis Carrier. He was 26 years old.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. Let's see. All right. Okay. It's estimated that the amount of energy used annually by the United States just for air conditioning is the same amount of energy used to power this entire continent for a year.
Okay. I'm going to go with like Africa.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding.
It is?
Yeah, it's Africa. All right. On a roll. I know it was definitely not China, Or
America.
Or America. I feel like they're all pretty heavy on the energy. All right, here comes a heating question. You're in Michigan, so I feel like you guys do a lot of heating services, don't you?
We do, yes.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's see. Got a whole list here. I'm trying to find a good one. All right, so natural gas was originally used for what? Not heat.
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It's something that you are currently using in your office.
Currently using telephone?
No.
No.
Light.
No. I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
I probably know that.
That one's pretty tough. All right, 2 for 3. That was good. You're tied right now in first place with our guest from Friday, Dave Schmidt. So you are at top of the leaderboard, tied for first place. We've only done it 3 times, so
okay. Well, I'll take it.
Yeah, awesome, cool. Well, moving back on into our discussion on marketing and everything else HVAC related. What are some of the unique factors in your local market that kind of show challenges or maybe help you all navigate that area?
Sure. One of our challenges, we have a lot of engineers. We're in, Metro City, so Metro Detroit. And so a lot of engineers working for GM, Chrysler, Ford. So I know for our salespeople, dealing with very highly educated, mechanically inclined clients, getting over that objection. I've been through the 2008, 2009 recession. And then with COVID, for some reason, we get hit hard and fast, especially with the auto industry. But so that was, those were very challenging years. Thankfully for us at that time, we acquired some companies. So it worked out in our favor, and we were able to grow during, challenging times. And that's, a huge opportunity when those things do happen. COVID, we got shut down hard in Michigan. Wow. It was a rough month. April was hard. And we had, employees that were scared to go out. Detroit was hit very hard. I think we were third highest basically in the nation for a good couple of months. So, people were scared to have us in the home. Employees were scared to go out, especially because we were one of the first areas that it got hit. You didn't know what to expect. People, you didn't know how to react. But thankfully that went away fast. So I'm trying to think of what other challenges we have. I mean, we're in a Metro Detroit area, so like buying TV and radio is very expensive.
I bet.
So, that's one area, but it's a huge market. We have a lot of potential to grow.
Yeah. So going back to that first one, you were saying a lot of like auto mechanics and mechanically inclined people. What are some ways that you guys overcome those objections that you get whenever you're presenting replacement options?
I think just a lot of education with our salespeople and a lot of training, just so they can feel comfortable when they do face those objections. It's, they've gotten to a point where they know what to expect, but you have to have that level of comfort going into the home, knowing that you feel knowledgeable and confident in what you're selling. And even if you don't know the answer, that you'll be able to find out for them and just be transparent about it.
Yeah. So what's the most common objection that you all get?
You have to ask my salespeople. I mean, I don't know anymore that they are killing it. So I think with our Google ratings, it really helps when before they even come in the door, because people read about them. They know that we're a good company, that we stand behind our work. And it helps with those objections on the phone, in the home. It really, neutralizes the situation, because people already have that level of comfort before you even go in. And I think it's really changed our business in the last 5 years.
Yeah. And if you're a smaller contractor listening to this, which, I think a large majority of our listenership are those 1 to 5 person crews. I would say something that they could definitely do if you're a smaller company is, if you can't afford a CRM, at least start like an Excel spreadsheet or something where you can say like, this was the objection that we got and this was our response to it, or this should have been our response. And that way you've got like a log for, commonly asked objections. I know once you get bigger, you can start getting a CRM or something like Service Titan or something where you can leave customer notes. So that would definitely be, I think, helpful for a smaller contractor.
Yeah, I think it's just in a lot of, role playing. I know people hate doing it, but it's, it just makes you it puts you out of your comfort zone. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you are. I know on the phone how important it is. Just dealing with clients with their, I know one of our biggest objections on the phone is, how much do you charge for R22? And we have a script that we, train the girls on how to properly, answer. Well, I can't tell you that because 1, I don't know about how low you are. And 2, there's a reason that that's not working. There's a leak, and just putting R22 or R410A is not going to fix that leak. We got to fix the problem. And to do that, we have to do a diagnostic of it. So, just getting that comfort of what to say when, and, we do a lot of role playing here, and it's so important to get that level of comfort about what you're going to say, what potentially could come up next, and educating, being having that education on what to do.
Yeah, I think the role playing is great, especially when something like R22, like that's going to come up a lot, especially now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's very expensive right now.
Oh yeah, I think ours just went up. What was it? Last Friday we were just looking at this. I think we had a 70% increase on our 410A. 70%. Really? Yeah. It went from, I think we were paying $99 and it's $289 right now. A jug.
A jug. Wow.
A jug. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think even like R22 is crazy.
Yeah, R22 isn't as bad now as R410A.
Yeah. It's just crazy how like it's constantly like going up and down.
Fluctuating.
Like
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, Dayna, this has been awesome. I've really enjoyed our conversation.
Me too.
If there was anyone out there listening who may be in a similar position to you, where they're in a family business or maybe in a general manager position in general, what's some advice that you would give them?
There's so much. I would say as a general manager, one of the things that really helped me is knowing every position, knowing how they roll, how they work together in your company. Doing that has really gave me a good basis, a good credibility with my employees that, I've been there, I've been in your shoes. I know how it is. I know making those phone calls suck. And I think that's very important, is that you know how everything works, how to do everything. So you can be, that person that people go to when they need you. And family business, it's fun. No, I mean, I've been through the hard days where, my uncle retired about 6 years. So, there was definitely friction in the past.
Yeah.
I think it's so important that everyone's on the same page. The communication is key, and that you show respect to each other, and business is business, family is family. Thankfully for me, I work very, very well with my family.
That's good.
Yeah. So we're all on the same page. And I think that's key. Previously, before when I had other family in here, they didn't want to grow, there was friction, and it's very hard when that happens, and there's ways to prevent it. Mm-hmm. But, I think a lot of it is just respect and communication, and having your goals laid out and make sure that you're on the same page.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, Dayna, what's a good way for our listeners to learn more about your business?
Sure. You can go to our website. It's cncheat.com. And I think we have a YouTube, we have Facebook, we have an Instagram page.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to think of what else. And yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, cncheat.com. As always, I'll link that in our show notes, so that if you are listening right now and you want to go learn more, you can just go down to the show notes and there will be a link to the website for you to follow. Dayna, thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome.
This has been an awesome episode.
It's been a pleasure. It was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.